Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando, that's Corey, and today we are doing 2010's Why Did I Get Married 2. Before we get into the cast, if you want to follow us on Patreon, speaking of Patreon, this was requested by Sybil on Patreon. Thanks, Sybil. We appreciate it. You can go to Patreon. You can look up Kiss the Reviews. It's a couple of bucks, barrier of entry. We have a bunch of giveaways, pre-show stuff, exclusive merch for different tiers. There's all kinds of really cool shit on there. So go to Patreon, sign up there. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kiss the Reviews. And let's get into the cast of 2010's Why Did I Get Married also. This film stars Janet Jackson as Patricia, Tyler Perry as Terry, Jill Scott as Sheila, Sharon Leal as Diane, Malik Yoba as Gavin, Richard T. Jones as Mike, Tasha Smith as Angela, Lamman Rucker as Troy, and Michael Jai White as Marcus. And we also have now back-to-back Louis Gossett Jr. sightings in Jaws 3 and now this movie. He looks a little different in this movie. He's put some years on him. So
we need to watch Digstown so I remember Louis Gossett Jr. more fondly. Because fuck, he was in some dog shit.
Yes.
Even if for 5 minutes and a paycheck. God damn, this movie is bad. I'm gonna say it. Are you ready? Worse than Howard the Duck. Worse than Dennis the Menace. This is by far the worst movie we have ever reviewed.
Again, I'm not into rankings, but it's in the box. Like if these are all DVDs that we've watched, it's definitely in the box of worst movies that we've reviewed. Everything in this movie.
This is the worst fucking movie we have ever reviewed.
Yes. So this movie is the sequel that literally nobody asked for, but Tyler Perry was like, "We're totally writing a sequel to this. Why Did I Get Married?" Second, and I told you this in the pre-show, this movie is listed as a comedy first, drama, romance. So a dramedy, romance. There is no comment. Like, I don't know. I know Tyler Perry wrote, directed, was the key grip. He ran the craft services fucking table, like all of that. Did he write any humorous pieces? There's one attempt at the very beginning at humor. And they're like, Marcus used to be a football player, and now he's a sports talk host. So now everything he talks about is in sports terms.
And when all the while, it was his players on the sideline not being able to make the draft.
The conversation with the guys around the jet skis.
Oh, yeah.
That was the most fake-ass, poorly acted, bullshit written, everything across the board, directing with all the fucking... Okay. You've turned me into Leo Getz again. Okay. Why the fuck are we taking still shots of Troy not emoting anything? The fellas all say something, and then it's a shot of Troy, and he's just like... And then the next shot of Troy, he shifted sides. So that means something. This is terrible. And there is
100%
no comedy. The comedy is the fact that Tyler Perry made money off of this movie. That's the fucking biggest joke of it all.
Yes.
The movie opens, and you think, like the first one, like it opens with like all the couples going on their annual married couples retreat where basically they're going to fight and all their personal shit inevitably comes out on the carpet. Except this time, Troy and Sheila are there instead of Sheila and Mike.
And we know this because child exposition has come into play. We have hit the bottom of the barrel where Tyler Perry's fuck trophies are now explaining to us the whole fucking point of this movie. Just in case you didn't catch up on the first one. Because, you know, it's so important.
Yep.
No, honey. It's Uncle Troy now, not Uncle Mike. Were you even fucking born? How the fuck does she know Uncle Mike? What? Why is your child so involved in the relationships of grown-ass friends? That's fucking insane. Turn around and watch Sesame Street. Don't listen to this fucking Real Housewives drama that's happening in our lives.
You were correct.
But we get to the airport, and after Angela and Marcus's bullshit in the airport here, I wanted to turn this movie off. I paused it here. It was 5 minutes and 56 seconds into this movie, and I was like, oh my God. At the end of part one, everybody kind of is, oh, okay, I understand. Angela stopped drinking, but apparently she's back on the wagon again. And it's just, nothing has changed.
After the first one, she stopped drinking until her throat wasn't swollen anymore from her husband choking the shit out of her. Then she started drinking again.
Yes. But after this whole bullshit airport scene, they get to the beach house in the Bahamas. And after they say the name of the movie, they all immediately split up into the guys and the ladies. They all talk shit about their spouses. And like I said before, all the conversations here were forced. You get the jet ski scene with the guys, which was just gives everybody a reason to take off their shirts and show off their muscles and whatever. Cool.
Great.
And then as this is all happening, Mike shows up uninvited and starts stirring shit up. The group, they decide as a group that they're all going to be adults and not tell Mike to leave.
But he's right. We are adults. We can handle this. Come on.
We can run interference to keep Mike from scoring any points against the opposing team.
If the fellas want him to be there, be fucking men and say, he's our friend. We like him. We want him to fucking be here. We don't give a damn what Troy and Sheila want. Right? And if you're Sheila, grow the fuck up and tell Mike to get the fuck out. If you're Troy, be a fucking man and throw this man the fuck out. And if you're Mike, final piece of advice for everyone involved, grow the fuck up and tell everyone you're there because you have cancer. Don't be a fucking troublemaking cunt just because you can.
This goes back to the writing. This goes back to the writing. What are we fucking doing here? You're going to bury the lead?
Yes.
Here's the other thing, too. In the first movie, we were like, yay, Troy, yay, Sheila, right? Yeah. You guys were the best part of that first movie. I thought the characters were written really well, as much as I'm going to rip on Tyler Perry.
They were sad. They were the only ones you actually felt something. Sheila, you felt genuine empathy for.
Yes. This all goes away here. With the women, Sheila's like, oh, we're poor now because I forced my husband to move to Atlanta. We haven't sold the house in Colorado. We have no money. And we spent all of our last money on this trip.
Don't do that. It's not good for you.
Hi, couples out there. A, if you don't have enough money to move from Colorado to Atlanta or across the city, okay, don't do it. B, if you decide, fuck it, in this housing market, we can't sell anything, so we're still going to move and pay 2 mortgages, fine, you made that decision. When your rich friends say, hey, we're going to go to the Bahamas, where apparently we just have a full staff on duty all day, every day to take care of our every need, that's going to be a little pricey. How about you just go, we can't make it. And if you don't want to tell them you don't have any money, just go, we got shit planned for that weekend.
How about this? It's none of your fucking business, but we can't make it.
That's it. That's it. Have fun, guys.
Yep.
And this is how I know all these people are terrible. Because here, when they get there and they're having like the little discussion between Troy and Sheila when they first get there, they are like still these very two likable, like the marriage looks good. And he's just like, I'm kind of down because I can't find a job. And she's like, hey, just let's get through the week, enjoy this. And he's like, oh, you're right. I'm going to go. They actually communicate. This is how I know the rest of this cast are horrible people, because the minute everybody else shows up, their relationship just devolves into this dog shit relationship like everybody else's.
Well, this is what I don't get. Two things with Sheila's little plan here. One, she wants to move back to Atlanta to be closer to her mom. Cool. I understand that. It's part of the reason I actually came back to where I'm at. Fine. That being said, if you don't have the funds, if you have a mortgage and a grocery store, and your husband has a job as the sheriff of this town and owns the grocery store, maybe it's a little bit better to move mom out to you.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
Yep. Maybe if you have all of these friends and these people in Atlanta, they would be able to hook Troy up for a job before you moved.
You were right.
Everyone here then, after the first day, they all go to bed. We see everyone's issues. Diane calls Terry Phil while they're talking in bed. Troy's stressed because he doesn't have a job. Marcus and Andrea do their bullshit. And Patricia and Gavin argue. Diane sees Patricia in the hallway, and Patricia says she's fine and snaps at Diane. This whole Patricia, Gavin, I'm the psychologist, and I said it in the first movie. You guys seem like horrible people to go on vacation with. This whole couples, but they don't do anything as like the psychologist or whatever she is, the therapist. Normally, if you go on one of these couples retreats, not that I've been on one, but you would think that like, oh, we're going to do things to bond each other together. No, all they do is play spades and go water skiing or jet skiing and argue. That's it. The only one thing they do is the whole like, oh, why did I get married? And where they get on the little platform and they tell everybody why they got married. Motherfucker, we've known each other for 30 years. We know why the fuck you got married.
Okay.
This is what other people call a vacation. That's it. A vacation. Only a vacation with an incredibly anal retentive asshole who has a fucking itinerary for everything you have to do.
Yeah.
And I will throw this out there for those of you who vacation with friends and blah, 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 blah.
Corey's life lessons.
Everyone. Uncle Corey. Do not ever make an itinerary for grown people on vacation. Whether you are friends or family or whatever the fuck. If you have a centralized theme like a birthday or a football game or something you've all gotten together for, fine. That makes sense. You all obviously meet at those places. Other than that, don't tell me where I'm going. Don't tell me what I'm doing, where we're going to. If we want to all eat at the same place, great. Happy. If we don't, guess what? March the fuck on to where you want to go. We are all grown. We've all paid a lot of money to be here. Do not set a motherfucking itinerary for anyone. Mm-hmm. Period. And by the way, since you brought up the spades, to the mics out there in the world, and you know who the fuck you are, you don't fucking look over somebody's shoulder and talk about how many books they should be. I will cut you in a motherfucking game of cards. You start doing that shit.
I don't care what. You could be playing Go Fish. Okay?
With a fucking kid. Don't do that.
You don't announce what the fuck they got in their goddamn hand. Again, you'll get fucking stabbed at one of these goddamn card games. Okay?
Motherfucker better wish he had cancer.
Hell yes.
But we get the scene here where Angela gets ashes tossed on her by an old couple, and then the girls invite the old couple over for dinner because they're like, oh, hey, you're Lou Gaza Jr. Do you and your wife want to come and have dinner with us? and they set it up very poorly, okay? Because it's not dinner. It's dinner in a show, okay? When you tell somebody, "Hey, do you want to come over for dinner? Oh, there's fireworks, cool. You could see it great from here," and yada yada. They're expecting dinner, some wine, maybe some champagne or some drinks, whatever.
Light conversation.
Not this heavy ass bullshit where and if you do invite guests, okay, don't go, "Hey, we're all doing this. Why did I get married? This is part of our like vacation." Why don't you get up and tell everybody? How about you fuck off? Don't invite me, and then I'm not playing your fucking reindeer games. Get out of my face with your bullshit.
Meanwhile, Patty and Gavin, who started this whole bullshit, are like,
Yes.
"Nah, you guys know why we got married. Fuck you. You better get the fuck up there. I just had to march my ass up there in front of a bunch of strangers and talk about my first wife and her first husband who died. Like, I'm revealing my entire life story, and you're like, nah, we're good, you know. Fuck you, Gavin. Get your motherfucking ass up there. Figure it out." Dude, everybody in this movie, first off, Angela is not funny.
No.
I know she's supposed to largely be the comic relief.
Yeah.
She's not funny, and here's why. You've made her a raging alcoholic that thinks text messages are phone calls.
These are text messages. You cannot answer a text message by picking up the phone.
She's not funny. She desperately needs help.
100%.
Desperately needs help.
Okay, maybe this is a comedy because I find all of this absolutely hilarious.
Well, yeah, as we discussed on Patreon, you're a fucking psycho. So you would like that. You are the definition of fucking schadenfreude. You love watching other people's misery.
Hell yes.
Even if she's not an alcoholic, she has been arrested for public disturbance 7 or 8 times in this movie already. She never made that flight. I'm telling you that right now. You think Sheila in the first one had it rough having to drive from Atlanta to Colorado in a snowstorm? Fuck no. Angela's doing time, dog. Federal time, because you can't fuck around in an airport like that.
She is definitely on a no-fly list for sure.
She is getting arrested for trying to get the flask through the X-ray machine with liquor in it. You can't do that.
And by the way, at this, this little kumbaya, jump on stage and do your little fucking performance piece about why you got married. Gavin and Patricia announces that they're going to get a divorce and they still love each other. Immediately, quick cut to vacation's over. I thought this whole movie was about the vacation. No, vacation's over, and we're only halfway through with this motherfucker because it cuts to their divorce mediation and them sitting at the table. And Gavin's like, "Cool, you want to get divorced? I really don't. You should have done this 14 fucking years ago when you decided like, oh, I'm not going to be present anymore. So now, you know what? I want half of your book money too." And she's just like, "Well, that's my money." I don't know. Have you ever been through or heard of a divorce mediation? It's not your money anymore. It's everybody's money.
I was on Gavin's side. I mean, he's being cold and stupid and bitchy about it. Like, he's acting like a little bitch. But I was on Gavin's side for most of this. Until Janet Jackson loses her shit later and is like, "Who gave you the money to start your fucking accounting firm? Me. Who gave you this? Me. Who did this? Me." It's like, yeah, Gavin, you're still making out pretty fucking well. And this like, "Oh, I want half of your $800,000 of book money as a writer." I will fucking burn it before I give you a fucking dime. Anybody that thinks out there like, "Oh, I helped you and I gave you ideas and I did this," and yeah, cool, thanks. You weren't a hostage. You were a volunteer. I ain't giving you shit of what I fucking put into a book. You are out of your mind. I will go full Joker and literally burn $800,000 in front of you before I give you a cent. Divorce laws or not.
Cool story, bro. Check every goddamn celebrity divorce ever. It all goes in the pot, guy.
I get it.
Gavin's
also,
just trying to get his.
No fucking way.
He's just trying to get his. But and
let me tell you, guy, keep sticking up for Gavin. Okay? This is what I don't understand. You have foresight. You have the beauty of you have 20/20 hindsight right now. You can see everything that Gavin's doing, and you're like, man, I don't know. I think Diddy's being underestimated. They set him up. No, Gavin's a piece of fucking trash.
Okay, no, Gavin's a
not that Janet's better.
Yeah.
But Gavin's a piece of shit.
Hell yes.
So I was on board with Gavin until he gets drunk, attacks Patricia, lights their dead kids' pictures on fire in front of her. And then, if that wasn't enough, by the way, the parting shot of him taking what's left of the vodka bottle and blessing her with it, just like tossing it or like pouring it on her. I was like, okay, I'm sad. I don't want to get divorced. This is all you, blah, 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 all this bullshit, right? It's all coming up. You can get sad and get drunk and then like go sit in front of a fire pit or, I don't know, go in the pool and just chill and just get drunk. And you can live your life as a drunk. Angela does it for both of these movies. That's fine. And even if you want to be an asshole and like yell, and maybe it's because, and I know I'm a psycho, but maybe it's because like when I get drunk, I'm kind of chill for the most part. Like I don't want any drama. I just want to get drunk and feel the drunk. I'm going to get drunk and then attack you and then like, well, you don't like that? I thought this is America. I'm going to light my fucking dead son's pictures on fire in front of you just cuz, bitch. That, like, I don't get that. That's fucking nuts. No. And again, you can go through, back to the writing, you can go through this whole messy divorce focused on Gavin wanting the money, Patricia being like, that's my fucking money. And you can have the contention there. You didn't have to go. This is why I don't like Tyler Perry movies, because there's 85 storylines for each couple. There's 8 couples or 4 couples in this fucking movie with a third wheel. It's too much.
You were correct.
You want to get drunk. Cool. Even burn the fucking pictures. Cool. Like that's a big point of contention for you. And you want, she doesn't care. You don't care anymore. I'm fucked up. Watch this. But then like, I'm going to like there's pseudo fucking rape connotations going on here. We're like, I'm going to purge. I want to purge. And she's like, stop. No. This whole scene is so gross and icky and just disgusting. I have been married to multiple women. I was married to Venom, who cheated on me with somebody who was so much lower on me on the food chain, it's not even funny.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
I got drunk when I found out. I got fucked up. I got mad. But you know what I didn't do? Any of this. I stayed away from her. So there wasn't an instigation or there wasn't a thing where we were going to go at it. I literally found a new apartment the next day. So I don't get any of this.
I just came to a realization. Was this not the comedy? This scene wasn't the comedy, was it? Was that supposed to be funny? I'm just trying to fight. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I watched this with my wife. And after all of these super heavy scenes, I just went, because there's no comedy in here. It's all awful, terrible shit. And
they're terrible people.
And with that, because now you gotta go flash to all these quick cuts to the other couples, and Sheila gets Troy a job because she goes to Mike and it's a secret. Don't tell nobody.
That
like
wasn't gonna fucking blow up.
I mean, fuck, man. And you have Gavin breaking into his own house to get his shit with Terry and Marcus. Patricia goes crazy, starts smashing everything in the house. And then you have the whole Angela, Marcus, is he cheating? Is he not cheating? And the neighbor's like, oh, I hear banging in your bedroom on Tuesdays and Thursdays and yada, yada. And she goes in with the gun and just starts blasting all over the place. And it's apparently the gardener and his like girlfriend or whatever. Like all of these like little storylines, and I get it. Tyler Perry had a fucked up childhood. Has he not met one normal person in his life? Because like this is there's not one normal person in this fucking movie.
No, this is terrible on all. I've said it before. I'll keep saying it on all counts. It's terribly written, terribly directed, terribly fucking acted. I don't like any part of it. And these quick cuts and all of this starting to wind things up are a great example of this. Starting with Patty coming in and just fucking shredding ass with that fucking golf club. Dope. I'm totally on your side. And that's where you reveal a lot of information about Gavin being a prick, and he's already got money from you to start his architecture firm, and he's got money to do this and money to do that. But instead of going like a first wives club and outsmarting him, where you smash all the shit and then be like, there, it's half yours. Good luck.
Yeah.
You just wild the fuck out. You don't even tell his friends, which any normal woman would do in that fit of rage, what he did the night before.
You were right.
Fucking pinning you down, throwing fucking alcohol and liquor all over your fucking face, and burning your dead kids' pictures in front of you. She would have ratted him out, because that's the real savage shit women do. She ain't breaking her own shit. She'll break your shit, but she ain't breaking her own shit.
Yep.
No
Absolutely.
fucking way.
Absolutely.
She would rat you out and burn your life to the fucking ground in front of your boys.
No,
that's how women fucking do.
The guy, if it's Gavin, the guy breaks
yes
all their own shit because they're fucking stupid, like gorillas. Like that's all we do.
Yep.
I rage, and now I just break all my own shit.
Yep.
And then at the end, I'm like, fuck, I just broke all my own shit.
And that's how you know this was written by a man that has no idea what women are like or have been around any kind of normal kind of woman. This was all male reactions happening here. Even over to Angela. Storming onto a fucking TV set, live show because you're shithouse drunk. Accusing Marcus of fucking somebody because your neighbor heard noises.
Yeah.
And then, okay, we'll just pretend all of that was ha 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 ha. And your man actually kept his job, which he would not.
Fucking fired.
He's so fired. He's doing one show to say goodbye because everybody would want those ratings. And then he's gone. Then he's gone for good. He's doing a fucking podcast in his basement with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. That's his job.
It was me being a healthy, active male.
But then Angela does the whole gun thing, walks in the... I would have more respect for Angela if she actually shot the people in her bed. But shooting up the room, I'm busting cap in your ass. I'm going to say everything that an angry black woman says in stereotypical movies written by someone that doesn't understand women. Fucking joke. Yeah. This was all terrible. And the fact that it was her maid and some fucking, her assistant or something?
It was like the gardener or whatever. He was the guy out in the yard that was like raking leaves earlier.
Yeah. And that never dawned on your mind because you're an alcoholic.
Yes.
Then we get the beauty of a fucking scene where you try to answer text messages like they're a phone call, and your exasperated husband has to explain this to you. And by the way, throughout all this, you don't tell him that you were wrong.
Yeah.
That you made a mistake and who was actually fucking in your house.
Yes.
What you do is, I'm sorry, baby. I'm so
assuming
stupid.
I'm assuming that conversation I'm assuming that conversation's going to happen when he goes upstairs and there's bullet holes in the fucking wall. Like, did a fucking mobster come in here and just shoot up the like what the fuck happened to my house?
She has the balls to actually say when they're having their argument, I have a job that is, by the way, paying our bills. And she says, what, you're going to get mad at me because I'm going through a recession? Yes! Because you clearly have money to afford fucking alcohol. So yes, I am going to blame you for this. Everything in this is a fucking travesty. If anybody on this planet shouldn't be married, it's these two.
Yeah.
Because Angela conveniently brings up multiple times, he's cheated constantly, right? What happened in the first movie? Why did he get the clap? Oh yeah, it's because Angela was fucking cheating on him.
Yes.
Where in the fuck do you get the balls? You trifling bitch. Yes. This is insane.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and if this isn't dumb enough for you, we have, and I'm only going to touch on this briefly. We have Terry confronting Diane about her cheating. And she admits that she went to dinner with a lawyer that she works with, but nothing else happened. So that's a thing. And then Troy finds out that Mike got him the job with the sheriff's office. He goes to Mike's place. He finds Sheila there. He attacks Mike. And Sheila tells him that Mike has cancer, but Troy knocks out chemo Mike and he leaves.
Yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
No, this is another example of why these two were written so terribly.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you communicate any of it? Like, I understand the
That's
job
my
thing,
problem. That's
but
my
also,
problem with the whole movie.
I understand the job thing, but also I don't, because you know this shit's going to blow up in your face. Mm-hmm. You can say, hey, I had to do this. If you don't want to take it, that's your choice.
Yeah.
But I gave you the opportunity because I don't want to see you communicate the whole, I'm seeing you suffer. I'm seeing you beat yourself up. It's taking a hit on your pride and your ego, and you don't deserve that. So I did this. If I stepped out of bounds, that's my bad, but the opportunity is there for you if you want it. Take it or leave it. Done.
Yep.
By the way, Mike has cancer. He asked me to help him out in exchange for this favor. There is nothing going on, you insecure little baby boy. But I'm going to help him out because I do have a relationship with this man and he has cancer. I want to help him. Fine. Those are two conversations, and it's the end of the fucking story because you're not giving Troy a choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what's happened. These are the facts. Deal with it like a fucking grown-up or
Absolutely.
Don't.
Well, and again, nobody deals with anything like a grown-up. So Patricia goes absolutely shithouse crazy here. And she dresses like the Nightmare Before Christmas and goes to Gavin's office to humiliate him. And he leaves and like storms off like, oh, I can't take this. And she's like, oh, don't be a little bitch. He drives off. He gets T-boned by a U-Haul and dies. And this is the point of the movie where I stood up and I went, yeah, not because I was happy that like, oh, Gavin's a piece of shit and he died. But I was like, finally, somebody got away from these crazy people. I'm pretty sure Gavin was a fine human being 14 years ago. Not only his wife, but his friend group has turned him into this gigantic, drunk, abusive piece of shit. Because not once in the first movie was there any mention of Gavin like Gavin was like, he was like the cuck in the first movie. And now all of a sudden he's the drunk, abusive. I'm like, okay, cool. But I was just happy that Gavin got away from these crazy fucking people. And if you got to get away through death, have at
it. This is where Patty becomes a piece of shit for me.
Yes.
Not because she killed her husband, because I'm fine with that. I could care less. My issue is her idea of getting back at him is wheeling in this cake in front of his whole architecture firm.
I'm glad you brought it up.
And having a gay man pop out of the cake and start doing a little dance.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, people out there. Uncle Corey. Do you want to, like, oh, you're a bitch, and you're a this, and you're a that. Cool. Don't use another fucking human being as your prop. Because this poor, embarrassed motherfucker now has to walk the fuck out of here and realize what you used him for, instead of being used what it was really intended for, which was just entertainment.
Yeah.
That guy didn't wake up trying to be a fucking plot twist or a fucking prop in your fucking divorce. You psycho fucking bitch.
All this is for you.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with this. In a Tyler Perry movie, in a Tyler Perry joint, this behavior gets rewarded, right? So the movie ends 1 year later, as there's a couple of red flags here. So 1 year later, Patricia gives this lecture at the university. She then gets pimped out for donation money from this philanthropist. And yeah, it's The Rock. And Patricia's life is great again because now she's banging The Rock. What? That's how the movie ends.
And let's just bring it full circle, all the way around terrible people. So Patty, who we're supposed to be rooting for to get her life back together, has not only written a book and is doing a lecture tour about grief and moving forward, which, by the way, is profiting off of Gavin's death.
Yes.
She insists to this lady, I don't want to meet anybody. I'm not ready. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Fine. Oh, it's The Rock? Fuck Gavin. You didn't say it was Dwayne Johnson and those dimples? Yeah, I will fuck him today. Like, is it too forward of me to ask you out for a cup of coffee? I don't know. Is it too forward for me to jump on your fucking dick? Because that's what her face just said.
Still frame.
She's a, terrible person. Basement flooded, roll credits.
By the way, you brought up a really great point with the other book about grief that she's profiting off her husband's death, which she is.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the mediation of it all, this is why Gavin deserves at least, I don't know, a fifth of her money, because Gavin and all their friend group all deserve a sixth of this cut. She should just break it up into quarters, because she literally profited not only off of her marriage, but off of her friends' marriages. Yeah. They should have all gotten a fucking cut in this divorce. Like, if I'm one of the friends, I'd be like, all right, you guys are getting divorced? Cool. I'm on Gavin's side because now I want a cut, because you profited and you used our real names.
We had the same problem with the best man. You're using our real names.
Yes.
And then you're coming around after the fact, making sure it's cool.
Yes.
That $800,000 should be our pot for our vacations that inevitably lead to you writing your next book. Because at the end of every vacation, you're just gathering material for your book. So you're paying for the vacations, and they are going to be lavish. And that way, Sheila isn't spending the last of theirs on this bullshit, which, by the way, to Armando's point, I'll fucking do that. That's fucking crazy. Especially like when this movie set, they bring up the recession like 3 or 4 different times.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
One of you has a job, which I don't even know what the fuck Sheila's job is, because she just hauls off and goes to lunches with the chicks whenever she wants. She's taking care of Mike willy-nilly. She's doing all kinds of things. But also, I mean, random fucking patrol officers in the Atlanta PD know the chief of police and know his golfing buddies well enough to be able to dispense information to Troy. So
and not only do they know the chief and one of the chief's buddies, they know him well enough to be like, yeah, he's kind of a dick. How do you know? Fucking cool story.
Patrol
bro.
Officer Smith, guy who doesn't have a name in the credits. Get the fuck out of here! God damn.
Chad Gigabyte over here knows all the ins and outs and the inner workings of the chief of police. Listen, I don't got much to say about this that we haven't already said. This movie was awful. I'm glad we're able to laugh now during the review, because I'll tell you this, man. I checked the timestamp multiple times throughout this movie. I paused it a few times, like I needed a break. I got to take a shit. Like I got to go do something that gets my mind off of what I just watched. It wasn't funny. And again, we don't bag on actors, but everything about this movie just wasn't good. At least in the first movie, as much as frustrating as it was, relationships and nobody communicates, the acting was good. There were some really good scenes, like the dinner table scene where Sheila busts Mike in the fucking head. Like there were some really good scenes in it. There was no redeeming qualities. I hated this movie. and it made me angry. And I looked at my wife and I was like, well, thank God we actually speak to each other and communicate. Like, Jesus Christ, none of these people say 2 words to each other.
No, these are the couples that talk about things like love language. That's what the fuck this is.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. Look, dude, this is the one thing I will give Sybil. Okay. I drew a line in the sand after Rocky 4. I said, I will not review Rocky 5. Fuck it, man. After this, yeah, I'll fucking review Rocky 5 every day of the week, happily. This is a terrible movie. Tyler Perry hates fucking black people, or at least doesn't want us to like you at all. But yeah, this was bad. This is bad. This is literally the worst movie I have ever seen in my life.
And this is why I like the people that view our show, not only on Patreon, but on YouTube as well. The minute you said we're not reviewing That's Your Line in the Sand, we literally had 50 requests for Rocky 5.
Hell yes.
Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews. And this was 2010's Why Did I Get Married 2?